I am a for real designer. I had a little bit of a career change. The job that I was doing disappeared. And I came out of that job with a bit of a pension and a little bit of money. So I thought, okay, well, I'll go to university and we're going.
This is what happens when you have a podcast in Australia, the UK, Los Angeles.
We're really pushing the limits of this internet.
Welcome to another episode of the Autopian podcast. This is episode 13. I'm here with Beau Bachman, Jason Torchinsky, and we're going to have a great guest today.
Your voice is a little gravelly this morning.
Yeah.
Why do you look like you just got stung by a bee?
Damn, that's harsh. You know, this is after the makeup sesh. No.
Wait, you get hair and makeup? What kind of fancy place are you running around here?
It's Australia. Everyone gets it.
No. Just to let you know, roughly 3 minutes ago, the reason why I'm even here is because Matt Hardigree, our coworker, called me up and while I was sleeping and was like, "Yo, it's podcast time."
So top of the morning to you, sir.
When did you get to sleep? Because you were on Slack just earlier today. So you've only had 4 or 5 hours of sleep in you, maybe?
So my schedule these days is just a disaster. Before I get into that, subscribe to the Autopian podcast, please. My schedule is a bit of a disaster. It's I get up at 10, and then I wrench for 12 hours, and then from 10 p.m. to 3:30 or so, I try to get something done, edit something, write something. So it's anyway, doesn't matter.
Do they serve coffee in Australia? Have you considered coffee? Some type of caffeine, alcohol, even? Do a shot of something. Wake up.
It's not a bad idea. I should
knowing David though, that would just drop him on his ass.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
I should get some black tea here. By the way, I'm here for to fix an old car. You can read about it on the autopian.com, our website.
The furthest place on earth you could fly to fix a car you did, which I'd love you for. Beautiful Australia.
It's going to be great.
It is wonderful. Yeah, I really should get a cup of tea. Speaking of tea, our guest today, Adrian Clark, designer.
He's a big deal.
Designer.
I'm so excited. I just want to say this is something I've been wanting to have on a website for a long time, where we have a actual designer who's actually worked designing cars in the industry, and he will just communicate directly to our readers.
Yes.
And people ask him to design things like some crazy ass idea I'll have or our readers will have, and this dude, he will design it with the full power of all his training and design and experience. It's a resource that I feel like is underappreciated.
Yes, all of that, plus he's a little nuts and definitely in the Autopian mind meld, because he comes up with some of the crazier things I've ever seen, and that's why I love him, because he's actually bringing practical knowledge and applying it to totally impractical things. So I can't wait. We're going to have Adrian on soon, right? And he's going to be with us. And today's about design, of course.
Yep.
As much as possible. Yeah. There's interesting design questions to bring up and things to talk about. So,
and there's no right or wrong, which I love.
Right. Well, obviously, we're going to talk to Adrian about his background and all that. We're also going to talk about some stories from the most popular stories on the Autopian this week. We have the Detroit Auto Show, debut of the new Mustang.
Yep.
We had a big post, a big article from Hubert about flat wheels. If you look at modern wheels, they're pretty much flat on the face of them. They don't have the dish like they used to. I'm sure Adrian's gonna have an opinion on that. We got a bunch.
Which, by the way, fantastic story that went above my head a little bit. So maybe you guys can explain it to me like a 5-year-old, so that I can understand exactly how it all works. But a really, really great story. And then, by the way, I interrupted you like a couple of times today. When you said tea, I thought you were going to talk about spilling the tea, which apparently
we will get to.
We're going to spill a little tea today. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, no, it's
Yeah,
gonna
we're
be
gonna
good.
spill some tea. When I said tea, I was making just a really dumb and stereotypical joke about.
Yes,
Oh,
we
English
got it,
people, because
David.
he's British.
We got
I
that.
get
I
it.
know.
Yes.
I'm sorry, guys. Okay, let's bring on
Oh,
Adrian.
Yeah, what the hell? Let's bring him on.
Yay!
Come here, Adrian. All the way from the UK.
Yo, Adrian.
Where is he?
From the UK, the United Kingdom.
United Kingdom. Exactly.
The Great
Still in a
Britain.
period of mourning.
Yes.
I believe they lost.
We still
lost
have
the queen.
our flags half mast, I think, over
Did we
here.
do that? We did fight a war.
We did. Yeah,
Come
we
out.
did.
Come on. Hello.
Adrian.
Okay. Hey.
Ooh. Hey,
Glad
welcome
you
to the
could make it.
Autopian podcast here.
Well, thank you for having me.
Oh, it's so awesome. I've been, reading all of your stories. It's finally great to see you in person and be able to catch up and get to know you and let our readers and listeners get to know you a little bit as well.
Well, I did have one of the readers actually commented and said, I can't wait to hear what you sound like. So I hope I'm going to sound English enough. And,
Hey, it works for me.
Make sure to call us governor every now and then. I think that's what we're expecting.
Just lean into it. So at least talk about crumpets every now and then. It will be good.
Crumpets and tea.
There you go.
So
No,
what's
I
the
can't
mood
stand-
of the country? Now we lost the queen. What's the mood going on?
It's so we're all in national mourning at the moment, and I'm a bit of a Republican, to be honest. I'd have them all up against the wall and change the national anthem to Jerusalem. And but the Queen, she was, I liked her, not the institution. And so, yeah, I mean, the queues to go. So she's lying in state at the moment, and the queues are like 5 miles or something.
Yeah.
They've got it all in this very British way. They've got it all planned out to the absolute,
I saw David Beckham
millimeter.
was like in line for 12 hours.
And yeah, that was on the news tonight. Now I find it hard to believe that he queued up with the proles,
right?
But obviously he did. So yeah,
is proles?
And I mean,
is that a word I should know?
Pros, did you read like proletariat? Like, did you read 1984?
Exactly,
okay, now I got it.
Yeah. The proletariat, the little people. Yeah.
Wow, that's good.
So, and Monday is going to be Monday is going to be crazy. I mean, because everybody is going to be here. Joe Biden's all of the world leaders are going to be here. So it's going to be crazy. I mean, you're not going to be able to fart in London on Monday without, having armed police in your face. So
everyone's excited to see a 73-year-old start his first real job. So it's exciting.
Yeah.
But be good.
He does have a very cool Aston Martin DB6. So we can't, he's not that much of a bad guy, is he?
Yes.
No,
well, you're right.
It's like it's a customized one, right? Doesn't it run on something interesting?
It runs on something or other. Yeah,
line.
Yeah, something. Yeah,
is that the one that?
But he's had it. He's had it since new.
Yeah, it was. It's some alternative fuel of some kind. I can't remember, but it's cool.
I thought it was like wine.
Yeah, no, Charles is very into that. He's very into preserving the environment, and which is which is kind of cool. So.
Yeah. Well, Adrian, so I mentioned to everybody how excited I was that we had a real designer who was on staff and ready to talk about design with our common people directly. So why don't you just tell us a little bit, prove that I'm not lying, explain what you do, who you've worked for, all this stuff. Let them know you are a for real designer. So just
I am a for real designer. I had a little bit of a career change in my late 30s. The job that I was doing disappeared, and I came out of that job with a bit of a pension and a little bit of money. And I thought, okay, what am I going to do now? And if you'd have asked me, when I was yay high, I was always drawing cars. And I knew I liked kind of creative stuff. So I thought, okay, well, I'll go to because I didn't have a degree. So I thought, okay, well, I'll go to university and we're going.
This is what happens when you have a podcast in Australia, the UK, Los Angeles.
We're really pushing the limits of this internet.
So I went to university and I did a year of an industrial design degree. And while I was at that university, one of the things that we had to do was go and speak to somebody in the area that we wanted to work in. And I kind of had these little feelings that I might want to be a car designer because obviously I love cars. So I spent, I'm the typical idiot that I am. I spent like an afternoon or 2 afternoons like ringing up all of the car companies. Like, can I come and speak to a car designer? And of course, they all said like, piss off. And Mini were great. BMW were great. Mini rang me back and they said, yeah, you can come and, yeah, absolutely. Oh, come and speak to a car designer. It's in Munich. And I was like, well, I'm in London. So that's not really very helpful, but thank you very much. And then, but Nissan rang me back, and Nissan is one of the only other car companies that has a studio in the UK. And they said, yeah, come down to London and we can get you in with one of our designers for an hour or so. And I was like, okay, great. So I went down, did that, and I spoke to the guy. And then I kind of knew that I wanted to be a car designer, right? I kind of had all of these, like kind of thoughts in my head, and I was like, okay, this is what I want to do. So I said to my tutor, the college that I said, look, I need to go to Coventry because I want to be a car designer. And he was like, yeah, he kind of knew because I was a smart ass basically. And he said, yeah, I knew you were destined for better things. He said, get the hell out of here. So I went to Coventry and I really enjoyed it. And I did my 3 years. And then I did a great project, which I was really pleased with, but I probably wasn't quite good enough to get hired straight away. And then I went to the RCA, the Royal College of Art in London, which, for somebody like me, I never in a million years thought that, somebody like me would ever get to go there. Cool. I got hired from there into Land Rover because I was, quite friendly with Jerry McGovern, who's the Land Rover chief designer. He's a bit of a prickly character, but I'm a bit, like I said, I'm a bit of a gobshite, and I didn't really care, and I was just like chatting to him, and he remembered me. And then when he came to the graduation show, he was like flicking through my portfolio, and the funny thing was, my final graduation project was a Jeep, and he looked at it and he was like, "This is great." He said, "Why did you do a Jeep?" He said, "Why didn't you do a Land Rover?" And I said, "Well, would you have paid for it if it was a Land Rover?" And he went, "No, probably not." And I was like, "Well, there you go then." So,
and so what? Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, how long did you work for Land Rover for?
Just over 3 years.
Oh,
until the world went sideways with the pandemic.
So was it one of those things, like, because I'm always curious about designers, like you go to school because you love cars, and all the cool things, and then it's like, okay, work on this door handle or work on this.
No,
really
that's absolutely
small,
that is absolutely what happens. And I remember I was saying, like, when I first did my first when I was first at Barking and Dagenham College before I went to Coventry, and there was a tutor there, and he used to be a car designer, and he kind of said to me, like, "What do you want to do?" And I was like, "Yeah, I want to be a car designer, but I don't want to be like doing door mirrors or handles." And he said, "Well, what do you think is going to happen?" And of course, that's exactly what happened.
Exactly.
So, is there a door handle that you designed?
Yes, that's what I want to know.
Yeah,
because we carried them over. So so I'm trying to think what. So I probably the rear reflectors on the new Defender and the checker plate on the new Defender
are yours.
Yeah, and the 130, the 130 Defender,
Yeah.
Oh,
I think I like the rear reflectors, though. I think those are good rear reflectors. The taillight design on the new one I actually like a lot. I think it's strange.
I love it. It's fantastic.
Well, interesting thing about the taillights on the new one, because it has the spare wheel on the back door.
Right.
So it's got those extra those extra lights.
Yeah, the little ones.
The little ones, yeah. So they're there for legal reasons, because it's about viewing angles.
Oh.
So we had to put those there because the spare wheel sticks out so far. So yeah, it's to do with viewing angles. So to make sure that you can still see them.
It's funny because I kind of assumed they were supposed to suggest the originals, where it feels like the taillight design and the original Defender was they forgot they had to put them on until it was about to be shipped off.
Exactly.
And they sent a kid down to the store to get the cheapest lights they could find.
No, trust me, because like Jerry hates anything. He hates. Oh,
there we go.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, Jerry was very proud of these taillights.
Yeah, but Jerry hates anything heritage. He is like, he and anything like fun like that he doesn't like.
Okay,
it is a bit of a heritage vehicle. I mean, it does have a flavor of heritage. I'm glad he didn't totally try to copy it, but overall it's got themes going on.
So those rectangular
as well.
So the reflectors at the bottom there, the horizontal reflectors on either side, those are your work right there, right?
Yeah.
Oh, they're nicely integrated. I like them. Yeah, it's a good job.
Yeah, the whole rear side of this is good. I really like it. It's flat and it's very interesting. I will say I did, and I'd like to know your opinion. I may have written this article right here where I kind of took a little umbrage with the fake plastic pillar.
That fake square. Yeah.
Okay, so the thing about the square. So
let's describe it, since for the people just listening on audio, the 2-door version of the Defender. There's a long window at the rear, and there is a body-colored. It is literally a plastic square, like a perfect square that is stuck in, like, on the front, like it's like slightly towards the front of the car, but it's just stuck right there in the window.
And it goes over the window, which doesn't make any sense. Like normally we'd have a nice view where the back passenger would look out of. There's this now box in your face. So yes, Adrian, what's up with that?
Okay, so every car needs a C-pillar. You need to anchor it over the wheel because that's what makes the, when you look at a car, that's what kind of makes the design. However, so on the Defender, so on the 90, you don't have to have that. That's an optional extra. You can, and I think on the inside, there's like some kind of, I don't know, there's some kind of extra storage on the inside.
I think there's an option. Yeah.
Yeah. On the 110, it actually does hide the body in white. There is actually some metal under there. So
was it like a continuity type thing? Like, hey, the 110 has it, let's give it to the 90.
Well, actually, yes, because, so the 110 has it. And the thing is, Jerry loves it. And it's one of those things that Jerry's a bit stubborn about. And when the press shots for the 90 were being done, and they did some that didn't have that didn't have the square on, he absolutely went nuts.
Really?
So yeah.
Well, I think it works on the 110.
The 110 is
tacked on the 90.
Well, I mean, I kind of like it, and I think it does work. And you need that. Like I said, the C-pillar anchors the whole car. You have the rear wheel, and it's that relationship, that straight line relationship, and I think it kind of works. So,
all right,
fair enough.
I agree. Fair enough. So I'm curious, Adrian, on a general level, like, what do you think are some great automotive designs, either through history or current, and what are the ones that you think just
We haven't got enough time.
That's not a fair question, but what rises? What's the first thing you think about when I say that?
Well, one of my favorite cars is, and this is not a car that you guys get. It's a Fiat Panda, the original 1980 Fiat. I know Torch.
Yeah. Adore that car.
Absolutely love that car, because it's the simplicity and the intelligence, like in the design, and it had an ethos, and it was like a people's car, but they knew they had to make money, and they thought, okay, well, we need to do this really simple car, but we need to make a profit with it, and it's just brilliant. Oh, there we go.
Look, I've actually written a whole article that just made people stop to appreciate the Fiat Panda. I wrote that.
Yeah, I wrote one as well. So
it's the off-center grill.
Probably used. Well, that's the
Love
because the
that.
35 and the 40, it's the same metal stamping, but they just used it the other way around. Which-
Really? I love it. Yeah, I agree because I feel like it's one of those cars that's deceptive because it feels like it wasn't designed. Like it feels like everything was so logical and straightforward. You think like they couldn't have designed it, but clearly they absolutely did. They thought about every little bit of that thing.
Yeah. And the thing I like about it is it's not a beautiful car. It's not like a Fiat 500 where you look at it and you go, oh my God, that's so cute. I just want to cuddle it.
Right.
But there's a real kind of logic to it, I think.
And honesty.
And it's an honesty. Absolutely. Yeah.
So for those of you listening and not able to see or can't visualize a Fiat Panda, the early Fiat Panda, I don't think the layperson would think, wow, this is a triumph of design. It's it's very simple. It's boxy.
That's the beauty of it, David. That's its majesty.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I agree too. I just think the typical person on the street would be like, that's just a little.
Because you know why? Because the typical person on the street thinks that car design is about making beautiful cars. And it's not. I mean, it is, but it's not. You know, sometimes you get a beautiful car. You know, sometimes you end up with an E-Type, or you end up with a Ferrari 250 GTO or something. But that's just kind of happenstance. You know, we don't set out. If you set out to kind of try and draw that, my God, you'd still be doing it. 50 years later. You just can't.
So this kind of reminds me of a conversation Jason and I have all the time about how restrictions, limitations actually lead to some of the best car designs of all time. Like the World War II Jeep, for example, somehow became a design icon, even though there was a literal checklist of features it had to have and dimensions it had to have. It was basically the government said, hey, design this car. And the result was a design icon. And this is just one of just a bunch of examples of really restrictions leading to legendary design.
But it's very Shakespearean. Shakespeare said like the more he boxed himself in, the more he forced his creativity to come out. And I think that's what you're talking about. Absolutely.
Totally.
Oh,
well, it seems to be the case. Adrian, do you have any thoughts on that?
Okay, it's easy to look back in hindsight and say, okay, something like the Jeep, and that was like born out of necessity. And let's be honest, the Jeep is not really a good-looking car, but it has.
Whoa!
We've learned to love it.
My whole world was just shattered. Okay.
No, but it has a certain kind of functionality and logic to it. And you can kind of look at it and go, yeah, okay, I can see what that car was designed. I mean, you're not going to put it in the Louvre, are you? But,
David would.
So now they called David's baby ugly. Now we can call my baby ugly. Should we talk about the Mustang and
the new Mustang?
Yes,
the S650. Well, these guys kept me up last night.
Exactly. Yeah. So we should talk about it because that's the big launch this week. And Adrian, you did a whole design evaluation and breakdown. So tell us what you think. Let's hear it.
So this is the discussion of the new 2024 Ford Mustang, which debuted at the Detroit Auto Show.
I mean, really, I'm to be honest, I'm disappointed more than anything else, because Ford made a kind of big noise about it, and we know we're not going to get many more internal combustion Mustangs, and it's just really disappointing. And they've done it. They've given it new bumpers. They've given it new sheet metal, and I mean the interior is terrible. They've just put a couple of screens in there.
One big screen, it looks like. Oh, I guess it's two,
one
but
big
they're
screen.
Connected.
Yeah,
so they're sort of connected. It's a little
they are. But it's a lot.
And really, I don't know. I mean, it's Ford. They've got some money. They could have done something. They could have done better, really.
Do you think it's too similar to the outgoing car?
Oh, it's absolutely too similar. Yeah, because it's basically the same. It's the same underpinnings, isn't it? You can see the cant rail, the A pillars, the C pillars are all exactly the same.
It's definitely evolutionary, not revolutionary, for sure.
Yeah, and they didn't do anything. I mean, and the thing was, I read the press release, and it was like, oh, it's a new 2.3 EcoBoost. Well, no, it's not new because you had that. Like, I rented that last time I went to America, and that was 4 years ago, and it sounded like a fucking cement mixer. So, you know,
well, I think your
engine was terrible.
I think you're right that they overhyped it, because they certainly made it seem like a lot more was coming. The funny thing is, like, you know, growing up here in America, we had to have like basically a brand new car every 2 years, and that was something like, if we didn't see enough change, we thought something was wrong. And you've got to change a car. It's got to evolve. You know, every 2 years it should look like something different. And that's the way, like, I grew up, you know, and I was always looking for some big changes. And then I started understanding a little bit more about refinement in design. And you know, take Porsche, for example, is probably the best example of it, being in the 911, where really it's the same car that they've just refined over the last 60 years, just making it better and better and better and better. So,
all you need to do is just change
the Mustang.
Now,
the Mustang doesn't have that history, though. Like, the Mustang isn't something that,
no,
you know,
but
like, they have made dramatic changes over the years.
This is my whole point. When the Mustang came out, so we had the 64 Mustang, and it was everything 65. To all people. And you had the, you know, your secretary, your hairdresser could go and buy one. But then they did like Shelby's and stuff, so, you know, herring around the racetracks. And then the early 70s, the 71, which is my favorite Mustang, you know, came out. And then the, you know, then the Mustang 2, which, all right, was horrible. But
not bad looking, though.
But the thing is, that
you're missing,
that,
like, there was
like
67.
The biggest selling Mustang?
But here's the thing, though. The 67 was a huge change in design.
Yeah. But this is the thing. They made these huge changes and kept adapting to what was going on. But now, like, it was the whole point. Now we're just stuck in 1964, and we're going to keep redoing that over and over again.
Well, we were talking in Slack about...
Is Ford really just looking to refine this Mustang more along the lines of Porsche, rather than doing the old model of let's kind of start all over again every 2 years? So that's what I'm kind of wondering aloud, right? I'm sorry, Jason, I interrupted you.
Well, that's okay. I was saying, like, they have these other sources to pull from. And Adrian was talking with us in Slack, and we were thinking, why aren't they going back to, like, look at the Fox body? Maybe update the Fox body to a modern design vocabulary. Maybe that could be something exciting.
You know, I mean, and the 80s are so hot right now. I mean, but you know, that those kind of things are relevant. You know, we're talking about emissions and aerodynamic efficiency and all of that stuff that kind of fed into the Fox body, and so I think, you know, they're and of course it would have been like a bit of a the internet would have lost its mind if they'd have done a new Fox body, wouldn't it? So
Yeah. Although I think you're right. I think there's some cues from the other generations that maybe they could have adapted to. You know, it's funny. I saw this car just about a year ago, because I'm on Ford's product committee, so they get us to sneak behind the curtain, look at design, everything from engineering to color and trim to literally throughout the. So when I first saw this car, it was kind of unique. It was already baked, because usually we do have a little bit of input, so I couldn't say much. And I've got to say, my first reaction was very much yours. You know, the same thing. Geez, this can't be an all-new Mustang. This is just evolutionary. For me, the grille almost looked a little bit, I hate to say it, upside downy, because it's, you know, it almost feels a little frowny where I don't know. There's just something about it. But I will say,
a monobrow thing going on, definitely. Yeah.
Yes, and I think that and the kind of the curvature, the way that the grill kind of in the middle to me is a little bit odd. And then it is kind of an angular kind of front end design. But I think over time, my mind is actually beginning to now more appreciate it. The whole body is just a little bit crisper. more kind of finely designed, in my term, a little bit more angular, which, they're trying to have some modernity in there. So I will say my initial reaction versus a little bit over time, it has gotten better. But I know where you're coming from for sure.
Well, I think like everything, I think we'll see. I mean, obviously, we've only just seen it. Well, obviously, you saw it a little while ago, and so let's see where they go with it. I think like everything, we used to call it soak time when you have something in the studio and it's like, oh
yes,
but you just let it sit there. And then you get used to it, and then,
there is one thing, not Mustang related, but design related. I want to make sure we get to before we run out of time, and that's for the designer. The question that got asked to you, Adrian, a while back, that I think everybody has when it comes to car designs, and that's why are the tires so huge in everything that designers draw? I feel like we have to make sure we have time to address that because all our readers ask this all the time. So would you like to just give your side as a designer? Why are those tires always so huge?
Okay. Just to tee this up, this is in reference to a couple of articles Adrian's written. The latest one being, our designer isn't done letting you know that you're wrong about big wheels on designers' car drawings.
Yeah, because it's like a thing. It's like a thing everybody knows about. When your designers draw the car, they're huge wheels. So just talk us through why this is the case.
Because mainly it's to make them look cool, but also because it's all about stance. You want a car to look cool. You want it to look planted on the road, so that it's like slightly heavier at the bottom. The wheels are like kind of pulled out, so the whole thing kind of looks taut and like I don't know. You imagine like a big cat getting ready to jump on its prey, so it's like that. So kind of that's why we do it. But the thing is that what people seem to have misunderstood is that they think that means that's why all cars have big wheels. And the thing is, like, literally, okay, so we'll do some sketches and the cars will have big wheels. But then when it goes on to when the chief designer says, okay, yeah, we're going to do that or we're going to do that, and then it goes to a modeler, and you'll sit down with a modeler who will model it up in Alias, and it goes on to clay. Then it will be like right size straight away. So
I think I think it's the fact that you're right. It does look cool, but I think it's one of those things that people see as the dramatic difference between those initial concept idea sketches and the cars they get. And I think that disconnect is what bothers people because they're not practical. You couldn't really build an effective car with wheels in the proportion that are in those pictures. But there's a reason you draw them that way, though.
Yeah. Well, it's it's to look cool. And because you want your sketches to have some drama, and because it's about it's salesmanship basically. Yeah. When you do a sketch, or I do a sketch, and you put them up on the boards, and the chief designer comes round, you don't want like a kind of pedestrian, boring looking car. You want something that leaps off of the page, that looks like it's doing 60 miles an hour straight away. Yeah. And so kind of that's kind of why we do it.
All right.
But it looks cool, and it should look cool. You're trying to get your point, salesmanship. You want people to want that vehicle. So
and this is the thing
on the screen. It just doesn't look the same.
And this is the thing. This is what a lot of people don't realize is that people buy cars because they look cool, even though your mum or your dad, they might not think it, but they go and buy a car because they like how it looks. And something about that car says, yeah, I like the look of that because it looks cool and it sells cars. And that's, unfortunately, that's part of what I do is, make a car that people want to buy that, that looks good.
That's not unfortunate. That's a very reasonable thing to do.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot more to it, but that is. But the thing is, that is part of it. And if you people say, oh, well, that's everything that's wrong with car design because you're just making it look cool. But, that is part of that. Making a desirable product is, what sells them. So, this is why, Apple sell, however many laptops and iPhones, because they're desirable products and people want to buy them.
Makes sense.
Okay.
So who do you think today's doing the best job in design? I'm sorry, I interrupted you too, David, but who do you like today? Who do you think's really on the cutting edge?
I think Mazda are doing some great work. I think Land Rover, obviously, and not just because I work there, but I do think they are very well designed cars.
I agree.
Hyundai Kia Genesis, Kia Genesis, perhaps.
Well, actually, Genesis. I do think, the grills are a little bit oversized, but I do think they are pretty good.
Yeah, I'm not crazy.
Porsche, they're kind of doing it. They're kind of doing okay. I generally like stuff that's actually the last couple of Ferraris, apart from the recent, what was the SUV that just came out the other day? The Puro, whatever it is. But the last, what was the last mid-engine? Was it the SF90? Actually, I thought was pretty good.
You have a Mondial, right? You have like a cool Ferrari too.
I do have a Mondial, yes, Ferrari, yeah.
Very cool.
How do you pronounce Puro Sang?
Puro Sangue?
I think it is Puro Sangue, Puro Sandwich, or something.
Yes. Which, by the way, I still think if you cover the grill, it totally looks like a Mach-E. Does that not look like a Mustang Mach-E?
Like from the A pillar back?
Yeah,
I can see it. Yeah.
What I think is quite good, they have sort of managed to get that GT proportion on a slightly raised, on a kind of with a slightly raised ride height. So
is this an SUV?
It's not terrible. No. Well, it is terrible, but it's not as terrible as it could be.
I do like the suicide doors.
So is this an SUV?
The suicide doors are rad.
We got an email from someone saying this isn't actually an SUV, and they were really.
What? It's not a station wagon, according to Jason.
Does it fit the rules? It does have a window for the cargo area, but I don't know.
Does it cover 50%? How does that work?
I have to measure and see. It's on the line. Okay. It might qualify as a wagon. I have to check.
Okay.
This is a good reason. So Ferrari, we
get out the ruler.
So we can measure and see if it's an actual wagon, because it's right on the line. It looks like.
The thing that kind of dicks me is that it's an SUV. Well, what's wrong with SUVs? I've got my daily driver is a Range Rover Sport, and I love it. It's brilliant. It's an absolutely brilliant car. And there's so many, you just want to get in, chuck your jacket in the back, do your shopping, pootle around town. And they're brilliant. Yeah, so I don't understand all of the hate.
Was that poodling SUVs. Around town or poodle? What was? What do you do? Poodle.
Pootle. P-O-O-T-L-E.
Yes, I got to get the lingo down. Poodle around.
I think there are definitely some anti-SUV sentiments for environmental and pedestrian safety reasons. But in this case, Ferrari is a brand that's all about handling, and there's an inherent compromise associated with ride height. So an SUV Ferrari, but just like the Cayenne, people said the same thing, right?
Ferrari doesn't call this an SUV. Like, they don't want you to call it an SUV, Ferrari themselves, which is even sillier, if you ask me. They also won't call their suicide doors. They call them
welcome doors or something,
which is ridiculous, I think.
Yeah, but no one's going to call them. Lincoln did the same thing. They can't call them suicide doors either.
What do they call them?
They call them like coach doors. Yeah,
coach doors. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's a hard name, but it's also kind of a cool name.
It is.
Okay, we are going to do kind of like a rapid fire session here, because we've got some stories that did well this week, and we'd love your input, Adrian.
Okay.
We're just going to talk about the stories that did well, and then if you have any sort of thoughts on them, let's get cracking on them. Okay. Well, here's the first one. Well, we'll get to that one at the end.
Yeah, because it leads into something else. Yeah.
Okay, the first one here, a story by Hubert Mees. Here's why car wheels are so flat these days. And this story was great because generally when people think about modern wheels, big wheels that are kind of flat on their outer surface. So they don't have a deep dish in them. They think, okay, it's got to be aerodynamics. Or maybe they would think, okay, maybe it's a styling thing.
That's what I thought, styling and aerodynamics. So I learned by this article.
I figured it was body shops so you could curb your wheels more effectively.
Yeah. Well, okay, so Hubert gets into the dynamics and steering related reasons why the industry has moved towards flat wheels.
So you're an engineer, David. Can you explain it to me? Because I'm an idiot. I couldn't. I mean, it's very. There's a lot of math involved. Okay, can you explain it like simply?
Okay. Let's see if I can do this simply. I don't think I can, but let's try this. So with a deep dish wheel. Okay, so if you have the center of the wheel is far inboard from the outside of the wheel, so from the sidewall, that moves the brakes inboard, and that moves the lower pivot for the suspension. So the ball joint gets moved inboard. Whereas with a flat wheel, the ball joint can be really far towards the outside. Now, what this does, so there's this thing, it's called the scrub radius. Basically, if you take a line from the upper pivot, so the upper ball joint, to that lower one, where it touches the ground, if it's inboard, then you get a big scrub radius. So with a deep dish wheel, you're pushing that lower pivot inboard, and so you're putting the scrub radius. You're creating a large scrub radius. The point here is what this does is whenever you hit a bump, you feel it. You feel it really a whole bunch in the steering wheel. So if you hit a pothole, it's kind of jarring. And it's
a packaging problem also, though. I think what Beau's looking for is why is it flat? It's packaging, so there's more room inside the area of the wheel to package brakes and hardware and components. That's the main reason. They need room.
See, Torch knows how to explain things.
Okay, yeah, it is a packaging thing. You're able to move suspension and steering parts farther outboard if you can move the outer face outboard. And this, the real important part here is that the move to a rack and pinion steering system, what that does, it makes your steering more sensitive to this scrub radius idea. So it means moving steering parts outboard becomes more important. So that move to a rack and pinion steering system is what, in many ways, necessitated flat wheel design.
It's a fascinating article. And yeah, geeks all over the internet were very excited to read this thing. It's amazing.
I mean, speaking as a designer, you always want to have a bit more dish on the wheels because, wide wheels looks cool.
A lot of people have been asking, hey, the Jeep Wrangler has an old school steering system. Why does it have flat wheels? And I know for a fact that in that case, the designers like the flat wheels, which is counterintuitive because you'd think everybody wants dish. But yeah.
All right. That makes sense. Is there any economy of scale too, David? Like the fact they're already producing flat wheels for everything else, and why make something that doesn't work on all their other cars? Like that had to be a factor too, right?
I don't think it is. I think it's a completely unique wheel to the car.
Oh.
Yeah. So it depends what package you're given. And that's going to keep moving, especially if the suspension department and the brake department are just, clueless. As a designer, you always want to have a bit of dish in your wheels because that looks cool, but it's what's appropriate for the car that you're designing. I mean, if you're designing like a hatchback or something, then yeah, you don't need like huge, offset wheels. So it gives you a bit more latitude. The aero thing is aero doesn't play such a big part on an ICE car. So and I talked about this in the comments.
Wheels wise, you mean?
Yeah, wheels wise, yeah. So those wheels are like aero wheels. Normally they're more efficient because they're smaller and they have a lower rolling resistance. With the spokes and things like that, it's like really complicated with like regard to the radius and the number of spokes. So just because something is flat doesn't mean that it's like automatically a really good wheel from an aero point of view. There's a lot of other stuff going on.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I will say,
I love some of these wheel designs that you put up there. By the way, the flat complete dish, and of course the teddy bear, which
I specifically I added
the
the teddy bear,
the Ronald teddy bear.
Ronald teddy bears. I wanted to make sure it ended up in the article, so I added
you know
those.
what?
Thank you, Torch.
Speaking of teddy bears, I think we have a little tie-in. Well, kind of.
we do.
The Paddington
yeah.
Bear.
This is a fascinating little bit of trivia.
I
can't believe you
this.
didn't know this. This is
I
like
had
common
no
knowledge
idea.
in the UK. Yeah.
Oh, that's in the UK, but
Jason, read the headline for us.
it just says, today I learned the original Paddington Bear was made for Jeremy Clarkson. That Jeremy
crazy.
Clarkson, the dude from Top Gear who punched a guy because he didn't get a steak. He had the first actual doll of a Paddington Bear because his mom made him for like a Christmas present. And then I had and apparently they made a bunch of them. And then the author who came up with Paddington Bear, they found out about it. Right. Michael Bond, they didn't want them just selling these unlicensed bears. So there was some legal trouble. And then he hung out with he met in the elevator or lift on the way to talk to the lawyers for the Paddington Bear holding company. Michael Bond kind of bonded with the Clarksons and gave them the license. And so the first run of Paddington Bear dolls were
and they still have it, I think. So they're, absolutely.
I think they sold it to a bigger toy company is what it looked like.
But anyway, they were absolutely crapping money because of it. Yeah. So.
It's amazing. And so, so the reason Jeremy Clarkson got to go to good schools to learn how to write, to be an auto journalist, can you trace it all the way back to Paddington Bear, which is just amazing to me. And he commented on it. We posted the article on Twitter, and Jeremy Clarkson himself responded because someone put a picture of an early Clarkson made.
Wow. Look at us.
Infamy at last.
Almost in the big time.
Yep. Yeah.
By the way, awesome. I never realized this about Jeremy Clarkson. Awesome 80s fro going on too.
Yeah, that is a hell of a fro he had going on
with the mullet. With the mullet, I might add.
No, he wasn't playing around.
He's all the way.
Yeah.
Well, he's been around. He's been around for a while because he used to the 80s car. I mean, when I was growing up and reading car magazines, he wrote for Performance Car, I think, possibly in Fastlane. I don't know. He can actually write. He's not a total doofus.
Oh, of course. No, we know that.
Oh, we respect.
I'm just being told that it's Puro Sangue. So this is
Puro Sangue.
Puro Sangue.
Puro Sangue. Oh,
David, is it time?
Puro
tea
Sangue.
Time? What do you think?
Tea time.
I think it's
let's spill some tea.
Maybe it's Sangue. Anyway, all right. I guess we're going to this tea. I'm a little worried about this because
no, you shouldn't be.
Okay. All right. Go ahead and tee it up. I don't know.
All right. So here's what. So I wrote an article this week because good. Matt's here is going to help me out. We brought Matt Hardigree, our colleague here. Okay. So here's the deal. So there's a reboot of the television show Quantum Leap that's starting, and I wrote about it because in the preview for the reboot they show a picture of a manual shifter that was done horribly. It's like a person had never seen a manual shifter in their life and was told about it badly by an alien on the phone. So that's I
saw that and I thought the shifter in my Ferrari was bad.
Oh no, this is not a shifter that exists in reality. Anyway, you can see it here. It's like a trident with two arms. It doesn't exist. It was a terrible prop job. Now,
over to the left, first, and then down to the left, and down to second.
Nothing has a shifter like that.
It's three dog legs. If you look at it, it's three dog legs. Because second is a dog leg, and first the fourth is a dog leg.
That's Matt's voice you're hearing.
Yes, that's the thing that bugs me is the squareness of the shaft.
The squareness of the shaft. No car has ever had a square. Never. No car has had a square suction, Chris. No.
Jason, we got to get a hold of this shifter and try to shift it. I bet
we should try to make it. Oh, it'd be horrible. Anyway, so here's what's that. So the article, I think everybody agrees shifters are a ridiculous prop job. Now when it came time to do the article, David had an issue because David said nobody's going to know. In fact, he said less than 1% of our audience will know what Quantum Leap is. Now, David, keep in mind, is basically had the upbringing of like an Amish kid, but without the Rumspringa to get all the cultural.
Does David know what Star Wars is?
I don't know if it's possible he doesn't. It's possible he hasn't.
Of course.
Have you seen Star Wars?
Yes, all of them.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Star Trek. Have you ever watched Star Trek?
Not
a lot of that.
Okay.
Yeah, so, look, the point is, David doesn't think people know what quantum leap is.
I want to read the actual Slack thing. He says,
"Please do. Please do.
This is serious. Not enough people know it. Relative to the audience we want, maybe 0.01%. Not even 1%. 0.01%.
The thing is, I wasn't particularly enamored with Quantum Leap, but I know what it is. I mean, I know it was this huge TV show in the 90s. Yeah. You know,
I don't think I've actually seen a whole episode through, but I know what it is. And we did a poll on Twitter where it was 90% of people said they knew, but David was like, no, Twitter doesn't count. That doesn't count because now, David,
it doesn't count.
You and Elon Musk. Yeah,
I do have a surprise for you that is actually something you will enjoy seeing, which is, can I share my screen? How do I share my screen? No, here, share screen. Hold on. So so David wanted me to go to, he wanted me to go to a Walmart, but I see, and talk to people there. I didn't have time to do it, but he did send someone in LA.
Like a weirdo at all. Just go to Walmart and start asking people if they've seen Quantum Leap.
That's a good segue for what we are about to show you.
All right, so here's the video that was shot. We sent someone out into LA. Now I have problems with how this was undertaken, but let's just go ahead and play it.
What is going on here?
Everything's going on here.
I'm Tiziano, and I'm going to ask if people have heard of Quantum Leap.
Quantum Leap?
No, I don't know what that is.
I know. I don't really know.
Yes.
Yes or no?
No.
No. ¿Conoces Quantum Leap?
No.
Yeah.
No.
I told you guys.
Quantum Leap.
No, this is a flawed though.
Yeah. Heard it.
No. Please make sure I look good.
You look good.
The
Quantum
person looks great, by the
Yes
way.
or no?
Yes.
No.
No.
Quantum Leap? No.
No.
The questions.
Have you ever heard of Quantum Leap?
So I think the problem here is we should have said TV show, and I think there was a language barrier.
I think there was a lot of flaws.
Oh, wait.
Yes.
Wait. Which one was Quantum Leap where he...
Exactly.
But Beau knows.
Wait. I think didn't he appear in historical things?
Yes.
And he'd only be there for a minute.
Yes.
And then he'd pop out. I have heard of Quantum Leap.
100%.
I cannot believe you guys shot that video. It's the most incredible thing I've ever seen.
But I think it's
by the way,
because I think if he said the TV show Quantum Leap, people would have known.
No. So here's the thing. My point wasn't that our audience doesn't know it, because I bet the people who read the Autopian probably know it. We always write for the audience that we don't have, which is the general population.
The general population knows this.
No,
exactly.
That was definitely general population.
It's not true.
David, for the record, was raised in a house with 18 boys.
Yeah.
They all got to watch 8 minutes of television a day.
Yeah.
And there's also another fact about your family. I guess I don't want to share it on a podcast.
Don't do it. I don't know what it is.
That's not too far away from my upbringing, and I still know what Quantum Leap is. So,
Look, I watched Armed Forces Network television growing up on a military basis. So we got reruns of Patton and Bridge of the River Kwai.
You probably watched Small Wonder or something like that, and that's about the limit of it.
Hogan's Heroes? Did you watch Hogan's Heroes?
No, but I'm so delighted that that video. So great.
Yeah, the video was great. I wanted to bury it.
I'll admit,
I wanted to bury it because I thought it was flawed and it didn't have the results I wanted.
Oh, you were going to bury that?
I was going to bury it.
13 is better than 0.01%. So
yeah, it's still
people who go to Walmart.
Here's the thing.
Got it.
When I told Torch to go to Walmart and ask people, I actually wanted him not to ask, do you know what Quantum Leap is? Because people's inherent response to that is they don't want to say they don't know something. What you should do is ask, what is Quantum Leap about? And then I bet you it would have been 1 out of 18.
Oh, no. I think people would have said some kind of time travel thing, just like Beau did. People do know what this thing is. It is not some rare bit of esoteric knowledge. This is about
just saying.
They advertised for the new show on National Football.
You guys are in a bubble.
It's
a
not the
bubble.
bubble.
The bubble
Not a bubble.
people who watch
America.
national. I'm
Small
leaving.
bubble.
Have a wonderful day. I have had this argument for too long.
So is there a
Goodbye.
new quantum leap? Is that what's going on?
Yeah, there's a new quantum leap. That's where they built the shitty shifter for.
The actor had like 3 names, right? But not Anthony Michael Hall. What was his name? Jonathan Michael something?
No, it's oh fuck, what the hell is that guy's name? Dean Stockwell was his sidekick, and then it was
Scott Bakula.
Scott Bakula.
Scott Bakula. Oh yeah.
Scott
that
Bakula.
guy.
Let's be careful here. We don't want to lose our audience of people who have
Sorry.
no idea what we're talking about. Most people.
By the way,
You don't think we've lost them already?
our producer Taylor said it was Harry Dean Stanton. It wasn't Harry Dean Stanton. The Harry Dean Stanton was the guy from
No, not
Rico
Harry
Man.
Dean Stanton. No,
No, it wasn't. No, it was
No.
the guy I said before. Whose name?
Yeah,
was
Dean
Dean
Stockwell.
Stock.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's
Okay, well that doesn't settle that. So there we go.
There we go. Settled.
Welcome
Look,
to the
everybody
Quantum Leap
who's-
podcast.
Yes.
If you're watching this on YouTube, please take advantage of the comments to let David know that he's absolutely insane. People know what quantum leap is. And if you're just if you're listening on a podcast, then just yell it out your car window.
All right. Well, that is gonna conclude for today. A wonderful episode of the Autopian podcast with Adrian Clark, a legend whom you can read on the autopian.com.
a phenomenal Autopian.
Absolutely.
Amazing
great
stories.
writer. Gives a lot of great insight into car design. So check him out. Anybody have anything else to say? Otherwise, we are going to
Well, thank you,
Subscribe.
Adrian.
Always subscribe to the Autopian podcast in whatever format is most comfortable for you.
Please
do it.
subscribe. We're begging.